Hi guys, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be learning about public goods. In the previous video, we discussed what are private goods. Now guys, public goods as far as they're concerned, public goods are basically those goods. In the exam, what you'll write is that they are goods, those goods and services that are both non-excludable and non-rivalrous in consumption. Now the two textbook example or three textbook examples that are usually given is street lights. This is the most common textbook example, or national defense, which is obviously provided by the state, or let's say if the flood defense, again provided by the state, although the street lights are also provided by the state because private firms don't provide public goods, right? We'll study why in this video. Street lights, national defense, flood defense, or a lighthouse, these are all examples, or let's say public parks, although public parks are not pure public goods, but still they could be regarded as something that is known as quasi public goods. But anyways guys, what we're trying to study here is that they have these two very different characteristics or distinct characteristics which differentiates it from private goods, which are non-excludable. That public goods are non-excludable and non-rivalrous, and these two characteristics are those that make them fundamentally different from private goods. And these two characteristics also explain, they are also the reason why public goods are not provided by the free markets. The first characteristic is non-excludability, which means that once the good is provided, that is, once you provide public goods, it is impossible to prevent anyone from using it, even if they do not pay for it. So you can't prevent anyone from using it once they have been provided. Now let's take the example of street lights, let's say. So for example, once a street light is installed, everyone on that particular street will benefit from the light it is providing. It is not possible to exclude those who haven't paid for the street light, or let's say it is not possible to exclude those who haven't paid the taxes for providing the street lights, let's say, because the government provides these street lights from our taxes, right? Because we don't install these street lights, the government does, because we won't do it because of the free rider problem. And the point is that, so not everyone pays taxes, right? But still, those who pay from that money, government installs these street lights and provides, let's say, flood defense or national defense. But it's not possible to exclude those who haven't paid taxes for it. Or in simple words, once the street light is installed, everyone on the street benefits from the light, right? Similarly, let's take the example of national defense. Now, national defense provided by the state protects all citizens in the country, regardless of individual contributions made by the individual person in the form of taxes, right? So, because people cannot be excluded, guys, consumers then have an incentive to free ride, right? Meaning they can enjoy the benefits without paying. And this is what is known as the free rider problem in economics. The second characteristic that you must be knowing for public goods is, because a question comes on public goods, is that public goods are non-rivalrous, or you can say non-rivalry. Non-rivalry or non-rivalrous means that one person's consumption of the good does not reduce the amount available for others. For example, let's say if one person is enjoying national defense, or let's say he's enjoying his time in the public park, or let's say he's enjoying, walking on a beach, public beach, or let's say he's enjoying the light that is being provided by the street light. Now that is not going to reduce the level of, let's say if we talk about national defense, that is not going to reduce the level of protection that will be available for others, or that is not going to reduce the amount of light that will be available for others, right? But in contrast, when we talked about private goods, we said that private goods like food or clothes, right, or I don't know, chocolates, let's say, they are rivalrous, because if one person consumes them, then it means that less is available for others, right guys? But when they are non-rivalrous, public goods are non-rivalrous, meaning that one person's consumption of the good will not reduce the amount available for others. The satisfaction that I will get from consuming public goods is the same satisfaction that you will get, right? If we take the streetlights example, right? So So that is why these are the two main characteristics that you must be defining accurately in your answers. The second thing that you need to know as far as public goods are concerned is that why public goods are not provided by the free markets. And when we study about free markets, we study that free markets sometimes fail in various ways, which is known as market failure. And one of the ways in which free markets could fail in allocating resources efficiently is by not providing public goods at all. So there's a completely missing market for public goods. So, and the reason why public goods are not provided is because of the above two features that we just discussed, right? Which is actually causing the free rider problem. And the fact that government is providing public goods is again the reason why market failure is arising in free markets. And the free rider problem is that, like I already mentioned, that in a free market, the thing about that you need to write is don't just write it's because of the free rider problem. Explain what it means. So in a free market, producers, you need to understand that in a free market, the producers or the firms, they rely on consumers who are paying for the goods they use, right? But with public goods, individuals can benefit without paying for them. And as a result, then firms cannot charge effectively a price because they cannot exclude the non-payers of those goods. They cannot exclude the people who will not pay for the goods. So firms cannot charge effectively, right? They cannot charge an effective price because they cannot exclude non-payers. Hence, there is no incentive to produce then, right, guys? Because the good then becomes non-profitable for them. As a result, the government steps in and the government basically provides, right, guys? So that is why we say that, and that's one of the reasons why government provides them. So it's a form of a government intervention, that to overcome this failure of non-provision of public goods, the government steps in, they collect taxes and they finance public goods such as national defense or public parks and streetlights. And the government would provide these goods directly, or they will, I don't know, have a contract with any private firm to provide them or produce them and provide them on the society's behalf. Right, so this is how the government ensures that this is how the government ensures that resources are efficiently allocated and distributed, and everyone sort of benefits regardless of anyone individually paying for it. Right, that's right. So and you also need, so if you talk about national defense, like I said, national defense will protect all citizens. You cannot exclude anyone from safety. It's a public good. Street lighting everyone would benefit once it is installed. They're non-excludable, non-rival. Flood barriers are again textbook example. It protects entire communities. No one can be excluded from protection, right? So that's why we say that public goods create market failure, and private markets cannot exclude non-payers, and they cannot charge effectively for goods that everyone is using simultaneously, right? So without the government intervention, public goods would not be provided at all, right? Even if they generate huge social benefits. And yes, that's correct. I mean, public goods do generate social benefits because, you see, society does wants public goods. We all want national defense, public parks, public beaches, streetlights, flood defense, national defense. We want this, obviously. So society does want public goods, right? Because the reason is because they're highly desirable and they're very essential for collective welfare, right? And their benefits extend to everyone. I mean, it will just improve. I mean, public parks or public beaches would improve safety and health and even the quality of life, and national defense would improve safety and health. And so public parks would improve the quality of life. So even though the individuals may not be willing to pay voluntarily for them due to the free rider problem, society as a whole still values these goods because they generate benefits for the whole society. They're desirable. They promote social efficiency, right? There are positive external benefits associated, and without them, living standards or security and safety could be compromised. That is why the government has to provide them, right? So public goods are socially desirable, which is why governments ensure their provision through taxation and public spending to achieve a more efficient and a equitable, desirable outcome. Right, guys? So that's all for our public goods for today, and I'll see you all in the next video. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you all in the next video. Until then, take care.